You know those games that grab you so much that before you realize it, it's already dark outside and you haven't even remembered to eat? The ones that make you promise you'll play just one more hour. But when you check the clock, 6 hours have gone by? This list is about them. Games so addictive that they'll steal all your attention, make you forget about your responsibilities, and turn your weeks into an intense journey filled with exploration, combat, and unforgettable stories. Get ready, because once you start any of these, your girlfriend might just end the relationship. If you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel. We bring daily content so you never miss a detail from the gaming world. And if you could subscribe to help us grow, I'd really appreciate it. In the top spot, we have a game that blends survival, action, and an engaging narrative. Days Gone places you in the midst of chaos in a world devastated by a deadly infestation, where every day is a fight for survival. Outside the cities, it feels like everything wants a piece of you, including humans who form violent factions and ambush you without warning. The combat is intense and strategic, offering a variety of options to face enemies. Weapons range from pistols and rifles to machetes and modified bats, allowing for different approaches. But the real terror comes from the hordes of infected, attacking in mass and requiring quick thinking. These massive swarms of infected are a true spectacle of chaos, pushing your planning, strategy, and skill to the limit. Facing them requires preparation, knowledge of the terrain, and flawless execution. Each battle against a horde is a unique challenge, and the rush of taking down hundreds of creatures at once is addictive. Even after the story ends, there's always one more horde to face, keeping the adrenaline high. In second place, we have a reimagined horror classic for a new generation. Until Dawn Remake takes the original to the next level with stunning graphics and an even more immersive atmosphere. The narrative unfolds like an interactive movie, where each choice alters the fate of the characters. Every decision, no matter how small, could be the difference between life and death. The game maintains constant tension, creating moments of pure panic and unexpected twists. The gameplay revolves around exploration, puzzle solving, and iconic quick-time events, testing your reflexes in critical moments. The characters are incredibly well crafted, with realistic animations and performances that heighten the emotional impact. The fear doesn't just come from sudden scares, but from the uncertainty of who will survive until the end. The enhanced visuals breathe new life into the horror, with realistic lighting and intricate details in each setting. The isolation of the cabin in the mountains, the unsettling shadows, and eerie sounds create a suffocating atmosphere. But what really keeps you hooked is the variety of endings. The fate of the characters is always in play, and the curiosity of testing new choices makes it impossible to play just once. Every path leads to different outcomes, making it hard not to explore every possibility. In third place, we have one of the most challenging action games ever made. Ninja Gaiden elevates combat to a level of brutality and precision rarely seen. There's no room for mistakes, as even the most common enemies can end your life in seconds. The fluidity of the combos and the variety of weapons ensure dynamic and highly satisfying fights. The difficulty isn't just an obstacle, it's part of the game's identity. Every battle won brings a genuine sense of achievement, making progress even more rewarding. The enemies are relentless, attacking in coordinated groups and forcing quick decisions. The bosses are true tests of skill, requiring strategy and perfect execution to defeat. Every new challenge keeps the adrenaline high, ensuring no fight feels repetitive. The visuals have been improved, maintaining the classic style but with enhanced textures and effects. The settings blend ancient temples, futuristic cities, and dark fortresses, creating a varied and immersive environment. The combination of sharp combat, intense challenges, and a memorable atmosphere makes this one of the best action games in recent years. In fourth place, we have a game that turns survival and tension into a constant. Stalker 2 takes you back to the Chernobyl exclusion zone, a treacherous territory where every step could be your last. Among radioactive ruins, mutated creatures, and anomalies that defy physics, rival factions fight for power. The world doesn't follow fixed rules, and alliances can change at any moment. The sense of isolation and danger is ever present, creating a dense and immersive atmosphere. The story follows a stalker who, after being betrayed, gets caught in a web of conspiracies involving scientists, military, and forces beyond human comprehension. The choices made throughout the journey directly affect the course of events, with no obvious answers or predictable consequences. The game doesn't hand everything to you, requiring attention to dialogue and clues scattered throughout the environment. The mystery surrounding the zone and its secrets keeps the pace intriguing, making it impossible not to dig deeper. The combat is brutal, with realistic weapons and an AI that can be both unpredictable and merciless. Managing resources, avoiding ambushes, and deciding when to fight or retreat is essential for survival. There's no way to predict what will happen next, and the environment itself becomes an enemy. Radioactive storms, pitch-black nights, and weather effects create a unique atmosphere. Each expedition through the zone brings risks and discoveries, ensuring there's always something new to face. In fifth place, we have a game that puts space combat at the center of the action. Star Wars Squadrons delivers fast-paced dogfights between starfighters, perfectly capturing the feeling of being a pilot in the Star Wars universe. The campaign offers an engaging story, alternating between the New Republic and the Empire, exploring conflicts after Return of the Jedi. Each mission places players in strategic situations, from ambushes to massive battles, creating a cinematic experience from start to finish. The gameplay strikes a balance between accessibility and depth, allowing anyone to jump into the action while rewarding those who master the controls. The energy management mechanic lets you switch between shields, weapons, and engines, adding an essential tactical element. The confrontations are intense, requiring precision to evade enemy fighters and destroy key targets. With 4 ship classes for each faction, every vehicle has unique features that affect combat. The visuals impress with stunning space scenes, from colorful nebulae to the wreckage of massive ships. The level of detail inside the cockpits enhances immersion, making every flight feel more realistic. The multiplayer mode expands the experience even further, bringing 5v5 battles and strategic squadron confrontations. With addictive gameplay and an absurdly faithful Star Wars universe, it's the perfect game for anyone who's dreamed of piloting a starfighter. In sixth place, we have a game that delves deep into chaos and darkness. Diablo IV brings back the franchise's dark essence with an open world full of dangers, secrets, and brutal battles. The devastated lands of Sanctuary are more alive than ever, with tormented villages, forgotten ruins, and corrupted fortresses. Every location carries macabre stories, and the sense of exploration is constant. The map is vast and interconnected, ensuring there's always something new waiting to be discovered. The combat remains the standout, combining fluidity and brutality. Playable classes offer completely different styles, from melee warriors to spellcasters capable of decimating hordes of enemies with magic. Abilities can be customized in many ways, allowing for unique builds. Facing demons, cultists, and grotesque creatures never feels repetitive, as every encounter can present unexpected challenges. The visuals perfectly capture Diablo's dark and violent atmosphere, with detailed environments and impressive animations. The loot system keeps progression rewarding, with weapons and armor that not only increase character power, but also alter their appearance. Beyond the intense campaign, global events and world bosses ensure the experience lasts for weeks. It's a game that offers addictive action, constant challenges, and a universe that grips you from start to finish. In seventh place, we have a game that combines a stunning world with engaging gameplay. Horizon Zero Dawn presents a future where colossal machines dominate the Earth, while human tribes struggle to survive. The setting blends nature and technology in a unique way, creating beautiful, mysterious landscapes. Dense forests, arid deserts, and snow-covered mountains form a richly detailed map, encouraging exploration with every step. The combat is dynamic and strategic, requiring precision and planning. The enemy machines have unique behaviors, forcing players to study their weak points and use their arsenal in the best possible way. Bows, traps, and spears create various possibilities, allowing for stealthy approaches or direct combat. The battles against the giant machines are always electrifying, providing a constant sense of danger and achievement with each one you take down. The story doesn't fall behind, introducing captivating characters and a plot full of surprises. The mystery behind the collapse of the ancient civilization and the origin of the machines keeps curiosity high. Well-crafted dialogues and side missions further deepen this fascinating universe. The visuals impress, with detailed animations and light effects that bring the world to life. It's an addictive adventure that captivates both through action and narrative. In 8th place, we have a game that turns a devastated world into a battlefield full of opportunities. Far Cry New Dawn takes place years after a catastrophic event where civilization has collapsed, but nature has flourished amid the ruins. The map reuses familiar locations, but now distorted by time and destruction, creating an environment that's both familiar and unpredictable. While the landscape might seem more colorful, the brutality of what's left of the world is undeniable. The gameplay keeps the franchise's intense formula, with frenetic combat and total freedom to decide how to face each situation. Enemy bases can be dominated and retaken at higher difficulty levels, ensuring a constant cycle of action. The missions range from ambushes and rescues to attacks on hostile territories, making sure the gameplay never feels repetitive. The story introduces a new group of antagonists that rules the territory with an iron fist, while familiar faces return in unexpected ways. The plot may not be as dark as the previous games, but it still brings memorable moments and some twists. The main events are action-packed, while secondary activities like searching for valuable resources and environmental challenges keep you hooked. Even after completing the campaign, there's still much to explore. In 9th place, we have a game that takes survival to the next level. Sons of the Forest places you in a hostile environment where every resource must be earned, and every decision could be the difference between life and death. The open world is vast and unpredictable, filled with dense forests, dark caves, and ruins hiding disturbing secrets. The gameplay expands on what made the first game a success, introducing a more detailed building system and improved combat mechanics. Exploration is key, but danger lurks everywhere. Grotesque creatures stalk the forest, watching every move before attacking at the right moment. Some are unpredictable, reacting differently depending on the player's behavior. Combat is brutal, demanding precision and strategy to face enemies that don't follow fixed patterns. The narrative unfolds subtly, through clues found on the map and events that happen organically. Forgotten documents, remnants of failed expeditions, and mysterious locations gradually reveal fragments of a story that becomes increasingly sinister. The world is alive and full of details, making every day a different survival challenge. Sons of the Forest keeps you hooked from beginning to end, challenging you to explore, fight, and survive against the unknown. In 10th place, we have a game that turns a zombie apocalypse into a chaotic and over-the-top spectacle. Dead Island 2 embraces the absurdity with a story full of dark humor, caricatured characters, and insane missions. The setting replaces the typical dark atmosphere of the genre with a satirical tone, mocking the exaggerated and superficial lifestyle of society before the collapse. Amid the chaos, there's a variety of missions, from helping decadent celebrities to facing bizarre mutations that defy logic. The combat is brutal and visceral, highlighted by the dismemberment system, making each strike grotesquely satisfying. Despite the variety of weapons, many end up having similar effects, making the impact of the arsenal more visual than mechanical. Still, facing hordes of zombies never feels monotonous, as the game knows how to keep the pace fast. The setting is one of the main highlights, recreating a world that combines apocalyptic chaos with the extravagance of a decadent past. Humor permeates every detail, from sarcastic dialogues to absurd encounters with unusual enemies. The story doesn't bring major surprises, but it works well within the framework of wild fun. Dead Island 2 doesn't take itself seriously, and that's its greatest strength, guaranteeing hours of exaggerated action and moments that are pure entertainment. In 11th place, we have a game that redefines tactical combat and battle intensity. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 delivers a cinematic campaign filled with memorable missions, where each confrontation is designed to keep the tension at its peak. From covert operations in hostile territories to chaotic shootouts in urban areas, each setting is detailed and immersive. The narrative plays with global conflicts, espionage, and betrayals, ensuring an engaging story from start to finish. The gameplay is flawless, with gunfights that give a sense of weight and impact with each shot. The realism of the weapons, recoil, and destruction effects create intense and rewarding combat. The missions vary between coordinated attacks, silent infiltrations, and large-scale battles, ensuring that every moment is different from the last. The AI of enemies keeps the gameplay challenging, requiring strategy and precision in every movement. The graphics are impressive, with dynamic lighting, realistic explosion effects, and detailed animations that elevate immersion. The setting varies between devastated cities, arid deserts, and secret facilities, each bringing unique challenges. It's an addictive game, with electrifying combat and a campaign that grabs you from start to finish. In 12th place, we have a game that takes medieval RPGs to a new level of immersion. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2 maintains the historical realism of its predecessor, but expands everything in an impressive way. The open world is vast and detailed, recreating villages, bustling cities, and lush landscapes that truly feel alive. The streets of major cities are filled with merchants, artists, and political conflicts, making every trip an opportunity for new stories. The combat system is one of the highlights, with strategic duels that require mastery of technique, quick reflexes, and knowledge of the equipment used. Improvements in swordplay, archery, and hand-to-hand combat mechanics make every confrontation tense and rewarding. Outside of battlefields, interactions with NPCs are deep, and the choices made directly impact how the world reacts. Moral issues and unexpected dilemmas make every decision matter, keeping the player engaged in the narrative. The story is captivating, blending political conspiracies, revenge, and emotional moments. The missions are varied and always bring unique elements, avoiding repetition. From hunting criminals to infiltrating fortresses, each challenge unfolds dynamically. The level of detail is impressive, making the journey unforgettable. It's the kind of game you don't just play, but live, marking its place as one of the great RPGs of today. In 13th place, we have a game that redefined the concept of open worlds and challenging combat. Elden Ring takes the developer's tried-and-true formula and expands everything on a massive scale. Each location explored holds secrets, lethal enemies, and paths that can lead to either glory or destruction. The sense of discovery is constant, with each new region bringing unique challenges, from imposing fortresses to dark caves filled with lurking horrors. The combat demands patience and precision, combining quick attacks, strategic defenses, and dodges at the right moment. The variety of weapons, magic, and fighting styles allows for completely different approaches, making every battle unique. The game offers impressive freedom, allowing players to follow their own pace and explore different paths without rigid limitations. Each defeated enemy brings a sense of achievement, especially during boss fights that test all the player's skills. The setting is simply magnificent, blending epic landscapes with a dark and melancholic atmosphere. The ruins scattered across the world tell silent stories, and the enigmatic characters add layers of mystery to the journey. The plot unfolds subtly, encouraging players to explore and interpret the events. Elden Ring not only challenges, but rewards those who commit, offering one of the most immersive and fascinating worlds ever created in games. In 14th place, we have a game that divides opinions but deeply connects with those who engage with its premise. Death Stranding doesn't follow conventional formulas, betting on gameplay focused on exploration and load management. For some, crossing long distances and planning routes might seem monotonous, but for those who fall into the rhythm, the game becomes addictive. Each successful delivery, each obstacle overcome, and each new structure built brings a satisfaction that's hard to find in other games. The beauty of the world is one of its greatest highlights. The desolate landscapes create a melancholic and hypnotic atmosphere, with snow-covered mountains, green valleys, and rivers cutting through vast plains. Natural lighting and weather effects make each setting even more stunning, ensuring that even the quiet moments are impactful. The soundtrack, used minimally, complements the journey and reinforces the contemplative tone of the experience. The story unfolds enigmatically, addressing themes such as isolation, connection, and the fragility of human relationships. The characters, played by a top-tier cast, deliver memorable performances and make every twist impactful. Death Stranding isn't for everyone, but those who embrace its journey find something truly special, a quest that stays with you long after the credits roll. In 15th place, we have a remake of one of the most iconic psychological horror games. Silent Hill 2 brings back the disturbing atmosphere of the original, now with impressive graphics and a level of detail that makes the city even more oppressive. The thick fog, the dirty hallways, and the eerily realistic lighting make every step feel like a dive into the unknown. The city continues to shape itself around the protagonist's fears and traumas, turning every setting into a dark reflection of his mind. The combat has been reworked, bringing smoother movement without losing the sense of vulnerability. Grotesque creatures remain a real threat, and the scarcity of resources makes each encounter tense and strategic. The narrative remains the standout, exploring deep themes of guilt, loss, and psychological trauma. The interactions with other characters are even more striking thanks to realistic facial expressions and intense performances that make the journey emotionally impactful. This remake isn't just a nostalgic return, but a reimagining done with care and respect for the game's legacy. For horror fans, it's the perfect chance to relive one of the greatest classics of the genre in a completely new way. In 16th place, we have an adventure that perfectly captures the spirit of one of cinema's most iconic characters. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle delivers action, exploration, and mystery in a world filled with ancient ruins, hidden secrets, and deadly traps. Each location visited feels like it's straight out of a film, with impressive settings that range from forgotten temples to vibrant cities full of dangers and opportunities. The gameplay blends combat, puzzle solving, and electrifying cinematic sequences. Using the iconic whip is not only stylish, but also essential for interacting with the environment, disarming enemies, and reaching inaccessible places. The puzzles require thinking and observation, bringing intelligent challenges that make the player feel like a true archaeologist uncovering mysteries lost to time. Intense chases and battles against enemies ensure that the action never stops, maintaining the sense of always being in the middle of a great adventure. The story involves global conspiracies, secret societies, and relics with unknown powers, all with that classic touch of the franchise. It's a love letter to the character's fans, delivering an unforgettable journey that puts the player in the role of the greatest explorer of all time. In 17th place, we have a game that proves grandeur isn't about the number of enemies or the frantic pace of action, but rather the immersion and emotion it conveys. Shadow of the Colossus is a solitary and contemplative journey, where each step taken through vast, empty landscapes carries emotional weight. The absence of NPCs and dialogue creates a melancholic atmosphere, making the connection between player and world even more intense. The essence of the game lies in the confrontations with the Colossi, gigantic creatures that challenge not only strength, but also intelligence. Each battle is a puzzle, requiring strategy and patience to find weak points and scale these imposing titans. The feeling of climbing a colossal creature as it violently shakes to throw you off is unique and unforgettable. Every victory comes with a mix of satisfaction and melancholy, reinforcing the subtle yet impactful narrative. The remake elevates this experience to a new level, with spectacular visuals that do justice to the world and the iconic creatures of the original game. Detailed textures, impressive lighting, and an emotional soundtrack make every moment even more memorable. Shadow of the Colossus isn't just a game. It's an experience that leaves a lasting mark, one of those titles that transcend time and remain a reference to this day. In 18th place, we have a game that delivers electrifying combat and an intriguing futuristic universe. Scarlet Nexus combines frenetic action with an engaging story, presenting a world where psychic powers are the main weapon against bizarre creatures threatening humanity. Combat is the main highlight, allowing you to manipulate objects in the environment with your mind, combining physical attacks and special abilities to create devastating sequences. Every fight requires strategy, as enemies have specific weaknesses and can surprise with unpredictable patterns. The team system allows dynamic interactions with other characters, expanding tactical possibilities during battles. The fast-paced action and stylized visual effects make each confrontation a spectacle in itself. The art direction impresses, bringing a vibrant, stylish world filled with futuristic cities and environments that blend technology with surrealism. The story is full of twists and introduces charismatic characters that deepen immersion in the game's universe. Scarlet Nexus is an addictive game for those who seek stylish action, an intriguing narrative, and an innovative combat system that keeps the adrenaline at its peak. In 19th place, we have a game that redefined the concept of challenge and dark atmosphere. Demon's Souls was the starting point for an entire genre, and with the remake, it returns even more impressive. The gothic and oppressive setting creates a constant sense of danger, with ruined castles, dark caves, and treacherous swamps hiding threats around every corner. The feeling of loneliness and mystery makes exploration engaging, always leaving the question of what might be lurking around the next bend. Combat requires patience and precision, with relentless enemies that punish any mistake. Every strike must be calculated, every dodge must be timed just right, and every victory is earned through effort and learning. Character progression allows for different playstyles, from brutal warriors to strategic mages, ensuring each journey is unique. The remake brought a new layer of fluidity to movements, making combat even more satisfying. The graphics were rebuilt from the ground up, elevating the game to a new visual level. The details of the armor, grotesque creatures, and dynamic lighting create a dark, fascinating spectacle. Demon's Souls isn't just a test of skill, it's a memorable journey that continues to challenge and enchant, even years after its original release. We also have a game that showed how a strong narrative can be as impactful as gameplay itself. The Walking Dead by Telltale doesn't focus on action, but rather on difficult choices and the weight of consequences. Every decision alters the way the story unfolds, creating bonds with characters that can be broken at any moment. The game doesn't shy away from brutal moral dilemmas, making every moment tense and emotionally draining. The relationship between characters is the heart of the story, with well-written dialogues and memorable performances. The journey is filled with unforgettable moments, where every choice feels significant. The zombie-devastated world isn't just a backdrop, it's a reflection of what humanity has become. The constant sense of insecurity makes the connection with the characters even stronger, making losses painful and victories rare and precious. It's the kind of story that, when it ends, leaves a void and an immediate desire to continue. The way the events unfold and the characters evolve makes it impossible to stop at the first game. This story makes you want to play the entire saga in one go. And tell me, what's the last game that left you completely hooked? If you can, subscribe to the channel to help me grow and never be uncertain about what to play again. I'm leaving 2 videos in the card, one I personally selected for you and another that YouTube picked. Just click on either one to watch. A big hug, happy gaming, and see you tomorrow.